Welcome to another episode of the Purpose Podcast, where we help business owners in Raleigh, North Carolina operate their business with intention. And today we have two very special guests. Some could say they're as close as family, and we have on our show
Some would say
today,
they're technically family.
on our show today, we have Stu and Garie from Absolutely Clean Pressure Washing. Welcome, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for being here, guys. We're excited.
And we're your hosts, Adam
And Gordon.
Yeah.
This is the Purpose Podcast.
This is the
Back
Purpose
after
Podcast.
a little hiatus. I mean, you were on vacation.
Yeah.
Which was good.
Yeah,
Good times.
well rested.
Good.
Yeah, I'm glad
Very
to be
good.
back.
We're excited to have you guys here. So, we kind of start this out generally. Just want to get to know you a little bit. You can, take the floor, introduce yourself. Stu, maybe we'll start with you because this is kind of Absolute Clean Pressure Washing by Stu, right? So tell us a little bit about your background, why you're in the pressure washing game, your kind of history with Purpose Networking, and then we can kind of go from there.
Let's see. How did I get into pressure washing? So pretty much my entire life has been around water, pools, the ocean, boats, back to the pools, and then throw in some washing. Yeah.
Sometimes you shower.
Yes. Forgot about the shower too. Nice. Couple of years back, I was in a different industry. I was a boat captain and scuba instructor.
No, you weren't.
That's
the coolest job ever.
It was.
It is.
It was. Used to be in the Cayman Islands, then I was in Micronesia, and then I was in Indonesia.
What?
Yeah.
Adam's blown away. Adam doesn't know
I
what
was
to
just
do.
on a boat for a week. That's what I was doing.
Adam's mind's blown. Mine is too. That's crazy.
How old were you
When I started it,
when you were doing it?
right, pretty much after college.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like your 20s were just spent on a boat, like
20s and 30s. Yep.
God.
Yeah, I was
20 years.
At one point, I was the youngest captain in the fleet of. It was called the Aggressor Fleet, and I think at 27, I was the captain of one of the boats.
Wow.
That's so cool.
How big were the boats?
They ranged between 110 and about 130 feet.
Were they like private charters then? So,
Somewhat. They were called live-aboard dive boats in the scuba industry. People would come out on the boat. We'd take them to kind of exotic locations, a little bit farther than you could go on a day boat.
Yeah.
And we would dive all day long. We do 4 to 5 dives a day. And the crew was on the boat the whole time. The guests were on the boat. We had to cook, took care of everything. And so, worked in the Caymans. Then I was in Micronesia. And I worked my way out to Indonesia.
wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's really cool.
He had Shark Week, National Geographic people come out and film on
Really?
his ships.
Pretty
On your
wild.
boat?
Yeah. They took we took the boat and we went from Micronesia over to a place called the Marshall Islands, Bikini Atoll, where they did the atomic testing. They chartered our boat for about 2 months. That we did a lot of B-roll around there. Got to dive on the shipwrecks there, and then they actually did live broadcasting for Discovery Channel, I think. I think that was 23 years ago.
Wow. And so you've had the third arm removed since then?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
good.
So,
I'm glad to hear that.
but yeah. So
That's
yeah.
a pretty wild story, man. So
That's not where I expected this podcast to
no,
start.
I didn't either. So obviously, I would imagine that lifestyle is all in or nothing, right? Like you're just always on the boat, you're always out there. That can get tough, right?
Yes. It's all in or all
It's
not.
like kind of majestic sounding.
Did you become citizens of the places where you lived?
No, I had to have work permits for different countries to make sure I was legal to be there, which I completely understand, and we did all the things we needed to do.
Nice.
But going off of that point of it's all or in, it is all in all when you're there.
Right.
But for about 5 or 6 years, I used to run my pool that you're a member of. I would
Lake
run
Park,
that.
hashtag Lake Park.
Oh,
Lake
wow.
Park Swim Club.
That's right.
In your neighborhood?
It's my neighborhood.
Oh, wow. This
we're
is
neighbors.
making
We're
sense.
neighbors. We live
Really?
literally 3 blocks from each other.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I used to run the pool for about 4 or 5 months in the summer, leave, and then go spend 5, 6 months out in Indonesia. So I did that
Crazy.
for about 5 or 6 years.
That's pretty wild as a cadence. That's
Yeah.
really cool.
So I did all Lake Park, and then I left and did all the boat.
Where are you from? Like, how are you from Raleigh?
No, but
we were
I
just talking about that because you guys kind of grew up in different places, even though being siblings, you had sort of a different background.
Yes, we are brother and sister.
That's right.
Yeah, thanks for clarifying.
So I've been in Raleigh, North Carolina since 1980. So I came
wow.
here when I was quite young, and some locals will accept me as a local, but my wife, who is local, does not. She still thinks I'm a
She
northerner.
still doesn't accept you. You're gonna have to spend the rest of your life working on that.
Originally from Connecticut.
Okay.
But you grew up in Raleigh.
I was born and raised in Raleigh, yes.
And you have kind of an interesting background too, because you're into acting and theater and all kinds of different stuff.
I
right?
do.
And weren't you in like the animal world? A little
Yes, I was.
Yeah, I know. They're interesting.
Yes.
They're
This is
very
awesome.
they're
Yeah.
interesting people.
Well, I grew up on the ocean too with our family, but I got to kind of love the fruits of his labor, and I was scuba certified when I was 12 in the Cayman Islands because of him. I got to go out to Micronesia and Indonesia on these amazing boats and dive and get, nitrox certified and wreck diver certified because of him. I actually took a few months off of high school to do a boat crossing with him, which was amazing.
Wow.
Like across an ocean?
Like across the equator.
What?
Yeah. So I went to college. I have a bachelor's in musical theater, and I did
You're
that.
a wonderful singer.
Thank you.
We can shout that out.
Thank
And we'll
you.
talk about your next show after the end of this. Right?
Did theater regionally for a while, and then I went back to school for animal science. Have my degree in animal science, and I worked at Discovery Cove with dolphins and sharks and stingrays and tons of fish, and I worked at Disney's Animal Kingdom as an animal keeper with
Cool.
a bunch of
Wow.
animals there too. Yeah,
And you did some internship at the Georgia Aquarium.
I did. I was at the Georgia Aquarium. I interned at Discovery Cove before I started working there, and
There really is a
fun things.
thread of
Water.
water.
Yeah. I
was
That
thinking
is-
the same
it's like
thing.
that is completely the thread.
Yes.
So-
And then I moved back here for our mom, and was a exotic animal veterinary technician for a while before I started
Where?
working for this guy at the only exotics only vet clinic in Raleigh.
There's an exotic vet clinic in Raleigh.
Yes, they see everything except cats and dogs.
Really?
And so since I had never worked with cats and dogs, I've only worked with like wolves and tigers. That was perfect for me.
Really?
Do you have another sibling that's like a professional water skier? Something
We
like
do
that?
have
Like a
another
surfer?
sibling.
Yeah.
We do, but he's living his best life out in Montana hiking. And
No water.
Well, he's in the
more-
lake,
he's more of
paddleboarding.
a land
Oh, he
cat.
paddleboards. That
Yeah.
kind of
In the
counts.
natural
He dives
streams.
as well. We're a water family.
Yeah,
yes.
very much
That's
so,
amazing.
obviously. So back to Stu and kind of the business. You guys have had, this history of diving, and you're doing the pool, obviously. And my understanding of the pool situation is that pressure washing is quite important for pools and cleaning and maintaining them. Is that sort of the genesis of the pressure washing business? Would you say?
No, that's not the way it came about.
Ah.
Yes, we do clean pools.
Oh, yeah.
We do have a niche with that. We do work
Yeah.
for the pool management company and pretty much prep over 150 pools for the summers.
Crazy.
But when I left Indonesia to come back, they wanted me to stay year round, but I decided not to because of my business with the pool.
Sure.
So I had to look around and figure out what I could do as a job, and I had a pressure washer, and I'm like, well, I've been doing it some on the side, and so then I became, properly insured, properly trained, so I knew what I was doing and making sure I wasn't going to hurt anyone's investment with their houses, and started the business 10 years ago doing the pressure washing, and so it's evolved off of that, and then I become a niche in some of the the swimming pools and stuff
Sure.
like that we do there.
But you do residential and commercial and all kinds of stuff, right?
Yes, we do both. We have some contracts that are big commercial stuff, but mostly residentials and stuff like that.
So talk us through the process of pressure washing, because I think a lot of people probably have a misconception about what pressure washing is or isn't potentially. And, I can just rent a pressure washer and do it myself for $100. What's the difference between that and kind of what you guys do? Because I live in their neighborhood. I see your crews and I see your equipment. This stuff is big. This is real professional grade stuff. And I would never in a million years have that myself as a homeowner. So what's the difference, I guess?
The big difference is probably the education to protect the investment of your home and your property. The equipment that we have is probably bigger, more professional, and just higher pressure doesn't mean it's better. A lot of the things that we do is not pressure related, even though our name is pressure washing. We let the detergents do their job. The pressure in the water is about the rinsing. The chemicals that we use, we know how to use it. We're trained to use it. Those are different things. And then if you have the right equipment, the time essence. It could take someone we were talking to the other day, they were washing their pool and an area back there, and one of my guys was talking to them and I was taking measurements, and all I heard this big gasp. And I looked back and I said, what'd you tell her? He said, oh, they've been working on it for about a week or two to get this project done. And I told her that we'd have it done in 2 hours. And so she was quite astonished that we could do what she needed to do. And so it's the timing. You can spend all your weekends and all these extra hours to do something, or you can call us in and we'll, again, with the right equipment, the right knowledge, we can get things taken care of pretty much quicker.
You do stuff really quickly, and you do kind of a vast array. So it's like driveways and patios and porches and siding, obviously, but then also you were talking about roofs the other day, right? How does that work? What's the deal with that?
Back in the 70s with the big oil embargoes and stuff, they changed the way they make shingles, and they use a lot more limestone instead of the petroleum products. And because of that, some of the algae and the growth actually likes the limestone, so things start to grow a lot more. People like, roofs didn't look like this before. You'll see the black marks up there. You'll also see, if you're in the shade, you'll see moss. So washing roofs is just to kind of maintain it, to make sure the safety and integrity of the roofs lasts as long as they can. You don't use any pressure. We usually mostly the detergent, we spray it up there, let the detergent kill the mold and mildew, and then we actually leave it there and let it dry so it kills it really well, and then the next rain or two slightly rinses it off and cleans it up.
How much of a similarity do you see between pressure washing now in the business and your boating career?
Well, customer care, taking care of the customers, their expectations, what they expect, to make sure they're happy. So communicating with them to see, okay, what do you want done? What are you expecting compared to what we can do? Let's say someone gets a new part of a driveway, or they added on it, and they want the two parts to look the exact same. One's 20 years old, one's brand new. They're not going to look the same. We can get the other one clean, get it close, but letting them know and setting their expectations so everyone's happy about the way it does clean up. Mm-hmm. But pretty much anything on the outside of a house, we can pretty much wash on the outside.
What's been the hardest thing about owning your own business, and what's been maybe a challenge, and what's also been maybe something you really like, running your own business and working with siblings, and kind of like, what's the dynamic like? Talk about running your own business and kind of your history and growth, how that's worked.
I was very fortunate because at the beginning I had a nice pool of people to pull from at the pool. Didn't even see that. One of the reasons my company is called Absolutely Clean Pressure Washing. Well, absolutely clean. The pressure washing to make sure people know, and then actually you said it, pressure washing by Stu. I put that on my signs. So people in the neighborhood that knew me, like, oh, that's Stu. That's Stuart from the pool.
We know Stu.
Yeah.
So I trust this.
Everyone knows Stu.
That's right. They do. At the pool, at Lake Park Pool, everybody knows Stu.
And in Raleigh and the world.
That's right. Indonesia, Micronesia.
We do. I've been in an airport in Fiji with this guy, and he's like, oh, there's Mark. Oh,
my
hey,
God.
buddy. And I'm like,
how many dollar bills are in cool little beach bars with your name on it?
No comment.
No comment. At least 100.
So with the business side, lately it has been staffing, just getting the staff on board, finding them, and then actually training them so I don't have to go out anymore. We've got 3 really good guys right now out in the field, and so they're taking care of things, so I can now hopefully step back a little bit, work on the business more, work on projects, going out to meet people.
Do podcasts, masquerade around the city, just kind of having fun, right?
Yeah. We put a lot of effort into our employees, so we want to keep them because we are members of the PWNA, the Pressure Washers of North America, and so we actually put them through a rigorous training. They have to take a lot of classes to get certified in everything from wood restoration, because we clean and stain decks and fences and sandboxes and play sets, to pressure washing 101, pressure washing 102, chemical safety, OSHA safety, ladder safety, all these courses that they have to go through before we will bring them out and start teaching them on the job. So. Yeah,
and that does seem to be one of the major differences between just like you and me using a pressure washer. And you guys, what you do is the knowledge and the experience and the capabilities of like knowing how to use chemicals, what chemicals work for what house, because I'm sure it differs based on materials of the house and stuff as well, so it's pretty cool.
I see a lot of that when I go out and do estimates and take photos and measurements of everything. I'll see where people have rented their own pressure washer and tried, and it's just like streak, and they're like, please help. I'm like, we got you.
The other big thing I'd say evolving is having an assistant.
Yeah, having help.
Yes. Having the help so she can take care of the admin stuff that she does, speaking and corresponding through emails, stuff like that. So then she can go out and do the estimates. That alleviates me from having to go do that.
Right, because you'd been a sole proprietor kind of for a long time. You probably had help with the actual gigs, but in terms of running the business,
yes,
that was all on you for years, right?
Yes.
And as we're in that situation too, we've been in that situation, and it's a lot. Right, so what made you decide to pull in your sister rather than go like find another assistant? I mean, she seems like a very organized, capable person. That's probably
like when did you switch from the exotic tigers to helping?
What made you want to do this?
I got out of the vet field because it was breaking my heart. It's a little. I like working with healthy, happy animals, and working at the vet office, I saw a lot of death and everything. So I was doing some other jobs, but I had been a secretary, administrative assistant for years back when I was doing theater during the daytime for my day job. And so I was looking for a job, and he was like, "Do you want to come help me for a little bit?"
It was just like one of those natural things where it's like,
come help me? I could use some help.
Why didn't we think about that?
And I was like, oh, sure. And then I was like, wow, you could use some help.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
So what's something you've changed since you've come in? Has there been a process or a system that you've changed?
Yes. So
all of them.
slowly. Yeah. So I've been there for almost 2 years now with you. Yeah. And it took him a while to let me have control of the emails and the voicemails and we've gotten a business number now, so not everything's going to his personal cell phone number.
Right.
More of a business email, just I don't know. What else have I changed? I feel like we've just streamlined kind of. And
just streamline things. She'd go back over and some of the things that we'll send out through our CRM database stuff.
Yeah.
She'd go through and tweak them so they read really well. 4 times a year we try to send stuff out to remind people that, hey, we're still here, coming up on winter, you want your stuff cleaned before Christmas, Thanksgiving happens, now's a good time. We're about to go into getting ready for, again, the holiday season. We also do holiday lights.
Christmas lights, holiday lights.
So we're going to have a Christmas in July notice go out, say, hey, I know you're not thinking about it now, but if you are, we can start doing estimates, or if you want to set the date that you want us to come out and hang the lights and stuff. So, she's behind all of that, just keeping it going. And, we've been very fortunate with some of the places where we get our stuff, like next door. She's answering those coming in.
Gotcha.
Those are really good things that we don't have to pay for.
Sure.
And again, it's going back to our customers that have put in good reviews and talked about. We had a lady yesterday. She just was raving about all our reviews. So I'm very appreciative of all those out there, and we try to do the best job we can for the people. Just like if this was our relative or my mother doing this, I want to make sure I do the best job I can for her, and then go from there. So she's helped streamline a lot of things.
That's awesome. So and that allows you guys room to grow, right? So now the hardest part is just hiring people and getting more gigs. I mean, how does networking play into your business? And this is obviously a networking group, a networking podcast, so we do like to try and include a little bit about networking. How does that play into your business and your career? And do you feel like and do you have any tips for anybody that's listening to this for how you network and how it's been successful for you?
So Stewart has been a part of Purpose Networking Group for years, right?
Yeah, I actually don't know how many years.
Too many to count.
And I started coming, when I onboarded with him. And so it's great to just know people and be able, even on our side, to be able to be like, oh, I know a roofer. Here, you guys need that. We'll go out for a roof wash, and then he'll go up there and say, no, we can't wash this. Like, you need a new roof. Like, this is not, and then we can say, oh, we have a really great roofer, and recommend them. Or, a construction guy for a new deck, because a lot of times we'll go to wash decks and we're like falling through it.
Right.
So,
right.
But it's nice to know people that are experts in their field and are also great humans, that we can refer and that can refer us. Like I mentioned, in our field, the construction, the roofing, the tile and grout people, they can, refer us if they need to. So it's been great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, just continuing with that is when someone hires us and then they know, like, and trust us, they're looking, okay, who else do you recommend? Who do you, because if we recommend someone, it's our name out there too. I had one bad deal went down, and I recommended someone, and the guy just really didn't even finish the job. I mean, I had to grab someone else, go over and spend 4 hours putting, screws in a deck because the guy did such a poor job, and I felt completely, guilty for it. And so I, honor up. So if we recommend someone, we want to recommend people that we know, like, and trust and do a great job. And, and everyone in the Purpose Networking, not everyone's hollering at me saying, hey, I need a, AC guy, but if I do, I know where to go. Or if they're like, hey, I'm new to town, I'm looking for a realtor, and it's like, hey, where's Lee? So again, we work really closely with certain people that, industry-wise, like if we're seeing wood rot on stuff or something like that, yes, we have a list that we can go to and say, hey guys, we'd recommend this person, you got yard games? Oh, you're having a party? We know who to call.
There you go.
That's right, you do.
So just networking and just being out there for people and seeing what can you do for them. You don't have to always talk business. Find out what their family's like.
Well, I was going to ask you, what do you do for fun? So, obviously you guys work a lot, but what do you do for fun? Stu, we'll start with you.
Mostly volleyball. I like to play some beach volleyball. A little bit of travel with my wife when I can, surfing, stuff like that.
Cool. You got married kind of recently, right?
Just under 2 years ago.
2 years ago?
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
We've been together 15 years, though.
Right.
We had our 15-year, I called it our anniversary. But yeah, so still married a couple.
That's awesome, man.
There you go.
And Garie, I know you do theater and all kinds of things.
I do community theater. I also love the beach. We have a cousin who lives in Wilmington, so I go down there as much as possible. And then anything with animals. I love. Yeah. I have 2 rescue bunnies, so those are my kids.
Awesome. That's
Bunnies or?
Yeah.
Oh, bunnies.
Bunnies.
Cool. That's awesome.
little rabbits.
Yeah. This is so awesome.
Yeah.
Is there somebody in our neighborhood that has goats?
Yes.
I've heard them.
They have goats, and I hear it in the mornings when
Yeah.
I'm walking a dog or something.
Yep, they're across the street and one up from me.
Yeah.
I've seen them from someone else's backyard, but there's a handful of goats back there. Because I was the same thing. People walk by. Are there goats here?
Well, and we don't have an HOA. We have no covenants restricting things like that. So it's pretty interesting. You can kind of do whatever you want in
You
our
should
neighborhood.
just get a rooster then.
I was going
I
to say,
do
wait
not.
till you get a rooster.
My wife would kill it and then kill me. maybe reverse order. I'm not sure. So I think that's a big fat no. But no, anyway, we really do appreciate y'all's time and coming on the Purpose Pod. Tell us a little bit about how people can get in touch with you if they wanted to get a quote for pressure washing.
Oh, so the easiest way would be by email.
Okay.
So you can email us at abcleanpwash. So that's abcleanpwash@gmail.com.
abcleanwash
Yes.
at Gmail.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes.
Very cool.
That's the easiest way.
Absolutely clean.
Yeah.
Got it.
AB clean.
Got it. All right.
P-wash. Yeah.
And you have a website that people can visit?
Yes,
What
we
is
do. Absolutelycleanbystu.com.
Cool. Awesome. Well, we really do appreciate y'all coming on today. Thank you so much. And we're about to jump into Purpose Networking, where there's a pretty interesting presentation happening today.
Oh.
I've got nothing special planned.
Oh, you're presenting.
Today's
Yeah.
my day. I had to do the
Let's
pod.
go.
I got the thing.
You're busy today.
I'm busy today, for sure.
I
So-
wouldn't want to have to go after you.
well, we'll see. I'll probably, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how
You're
it
gonna
goes.
do great.
We're going to throw some cornhole?
Yeah, we'll see. We got some.
Wouldn't that be fun? He's like, guys, let's go out to the parking lot. I have all my games out
Yeah,
there.
what if I did? I didn't do
That'd be the
that.
best presentation ever.
Next
It's okay.
time.
It's okay.
I didn't do that at all.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
This is digressing quickly.
No, it's not.
Thank you guys so much for having us. This is the Purpose Podcast. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you follow us on Apple and Spotify. And I'm Gordon.
And I'm Adam, and share this video with a friend. If you know any entrepreneur, solopreneur, or just someone who's young and wants to get out in the business community, invite them to Purpose Networking Group every Wednesday morning at Raleigh Founded Gateway at 8 a.m. All right, guys, it's going to be great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.